How's everybody doing? Great. Do you all remember the Transformer movies? Yeah, I love the Transformer movies. I also love the Star Wars movies. But if you can remember in the Transformer movie, I believe it's the first one, Optimus Prime stands there and he says something to this effect. It's very rare that fate comes to us at a time of our choosing. Which means things are going to happen to you. And you don't pick when these things are going to happen to you. They may be good, they may be bad. Best thing to do is prepare for the situation. But I'm here to discuss two things. Do I have half an hour? Let's make it 3. Actually, let's make it 3 because when you have a tripod, it's actually more stable. The other thing is that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. As part of going on in life and things happening to you, you may tell people, oh, you're lucky, you're like that, but they don't see the amount of time and everything that you put behind that. So you've got to be prepared so that when the opportunity arises, you are there to actually meet it and you can actually make good use of it. All right, I come to my third point. Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Try using my hand.
Bam. Oh, that was
Try
hard.
with my hand. You hit me again. I said try.
Oh?
Okay? That's what I said. I didn't say hit my hand. I said try.
Oh, okay.
Now, that inspiration comes from a little friend of mine. He's about that high. Okay? He's 800 years. He says there is no trying. You either do or you don't. All right? So those are the messages that we have today. As you go through life, be prepared. Things are going to happen to you. And just don't tell yourself, I'm going to try. Actually go out there and do it. Thank you.
And the first speaker would be Larry Riggs, doing his very first speech of Dynamic Leadership Pathway. Larry's public speaking began when he became involved in and eventually starting teaching a Bible study group. Shortly after that, he has invited to participate in prison ministry and work with both adults and incarcerated youth. He also worked in youth ministry in his congregation for over 20 years. His speech title tonight will be My Introduction to Public Speaking. Please help me welcome Larry Riggs.
Because of my time here, I've had the opportunity to do several icebreaker speeches along those paths. So I thought, what can I share that I haven't touched on before? And so I was going to go way back to the first time I got into public speaking. And that is, I got involved in a Bible study. And I jumped right into it. I love to study, got all my research materials, study the culture, languages, things like that. And was asked shortly after that to teach. That's when I discovered that I really do like to teach. I don't mind being in front of people. I know I'm one of the 3% of the population that's like that. But I had fun with it. Shortly after that, for whatever reason, the people that were running prison ministry invited me to join them and started out working with youth in jail, which was an interesting thing because youth tend to be marginalized, especially if they're incarcerated. A lot of the kids that I worked with were habitual runaways. They were, in some cases, well, they were a little bit of everything. We had the runaways, we had drug dealers, we had one young lady, she was particularly nice, I thought. I'm thinking, well, why are you here? She said, well, assaulting a police officer. Well, okay, how did that happen? Well, they were trying to arrest me. Oh, well, what did you do? Armed robbery. So we had a pretty wide spectrum of kids that I was working with. Anywhere from that to, we had this tiny little girl, looked like maybe she was 8 or 9. She was actually 14 and pregnant at the time. It's just a sad story. Some of the kids you work with, it made me want to continue to work with those kids. I do remember one young gentleman sitting, I use that loosely, sitting next to me and looking up at me. He's probably all 13 years old. He said, "Why should I listen to you? I make more money than you do, and I'll be out in a week." Now, when you're doing prison ministry, you kind of got to be matter of fact. You just lay it on the line because time is limited, and you may never see them again. So I just told him the truth. I said, "Well, here's the deal. You don't have to listen to me. Keep going on your path, and you're going to be either dead or in jail by the time you're 18. Your choice." And we went on, and I never saw him again. Unfortunately, the kids in jail is a big turnover, so we didn't get to follow up with a lot of them. But I did get to follow up with a lot of the ones that I worked with in our congregation, and that was very rewarding for me. Actually, some of them now are my Facebook friends. I'm watching them build their families and raise their kids, and it's really great. But I do remember the classes that we had, because my wife and I started the education program for kids in that congregation. She took the younger ones, and I took the high schoolers. And we had some great conversations. It was interesting. I had a rule there that anything said in the room stayed in the room, with, of course, some exceptions, because you find out when you work with youth, there are some things that they say that you're required to report, like abuse and crimes and things like that. But I said, as long as it's not like that, it's something that's going on in your house, we're open to discuss it. And I'm not going to go to your parents. As long as you understand, I'm not going to take your side against your parents. I will never step in the middle. Because as a parent, I would not want anybody to do that to me. So we had some great times. I remember, truthfully, I think one of the compliments that I remember more than any I've gotten in my life was a young lady that said one time, "You're one of the only adults that ever listens to us." And I thought that was sad because I knew their parents. And in some of those cases, that was true. So I had to be very careful about what I said and didn't say. But one thing that I was able to do is give them the perspective from the parents' side. And I told them that. I said, okay, you tell me how you feel as the teenager in this, and I'll tell you what the parent's thinking, because I'm a parent. So, and my daughter was in that class from time to time. So I was able to give them a perspective that they didn't have before, and at least get them to think, well, okay, there's things going on in their parents' head that may not have been considered before. Because, of course, they all did feel marginalized by their parents. And again, because I knew some of the parents, there were times that I told them, here's the deal, life isn't fair. There's times when you're going to have to be the adult in the room. And that's a tough thing to say, but again, I want these kids to have eventually a relationship with their parents. I don't want them to be at war. So I try to help them understand and get a perspective from the parents' side, but understand that the parents are a product of the environment they were brought up in. Because there's a saying that hurting people hurt people. And so if I could let them know that, if your parents do something that really bothers you, maybe it's because their parents did something that really bothered them. Or someone that had an influence in them, a teacher or whatever. So try to get them to understand from that perspective. And I really did enjoy that part of it because I like to follow the philosophy John Maxwell voices. He says that he wants to add value to the lives of everyone he meets. And to me, it was a privilege to be able to add value to the lives of those teenagers because most of the time, the world doesn't take them seriously. And for that young girl to tell me, you're one of the only adults that ever listens to us, that really spoke to me in a positive way to me, but unfortunately in a not so positive way to us as adults in general. Because of course it's easier to listen to them than it is for me to listen to my own children. But I work on that.
Moving on, we have the second speaker. She is going to deliver her level 2 speech in dynamic leadership. It's comfortable and easy to follow in life, but at times we have to be front and center to lead, which take courage and ownership. In this speech, Eran will share with you her leadership style and the ideal qualities she's striving for. Let's Speech title is Leadership Takes Courage. Please welcome Eran Bosaz.
I don't like to lead. I'm more comfortable behind the scene supporting other people. I love when they do well. I don't have the need to take any credit because it gives me satisfaction just seeing that what I have done have produced results. However, as a parent at home with 2 teenagers and a manager at a nonprofit helping immigrants and some marginalized population, I had to learn really fast how to lead. I found that managing is just not enough because managing has a time limit. I'm there at 9 o'clock, leave at 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'm done. It's more task-oriented. But I found as a leader, you have to keep what you're doing in mind at all times because ultimately you are responsible, regardless if you have delegated something to somebody. If you're the leader, you take extreme ownership because you have to be able to say something goes well, you credit people who have done it with you and for you. However, if things don't go well, even though if you did not make that direct mistake, I would have to say, it's my fault and I'll fix it. It's really hard. It's not comfortable. You literally have to feel like you're alone in the front. However, the impact is great, and it's great for personal growth. For this exercise, this speech, I took the survey to find out what leadership style that I have. And not surprisingly, I'm pretty much everything, which makes it good in some way because I can kind of handle different style of challenges, people, and circumstances. I do lean more towards the affiliative or the democratic style. Again, not surprisingly, because I like to support, I like peace, harmony, and I love teamwork, I love building relationships. However, when it comes to performance review time, if I see somebody's not doing well, I really don't like to confront those people. I don't like to make people, you need that. And you need to have those honest talks sometimes. So while I think that I have this current style, I do truly believe that being a leader, you need extra oomph. You really need something more. There's some magnetizing quality. There's some energy that inspires others, and that is so important. Because as a leader, you don't deal so much with the task or the unit of measurements, but it's more about how you inspire, how you make people want to help you, to commit to your mission. And that takes a lot of invisible energy, and it really comes from within. Come from within when you feel confident about yourself. Many people, they need that because they don't have that in themselves. So as I'm striving to become a better leader, one of the most important things for me is to continue to grow myself and to challenge myself, because that, unfortunately, as much as I don't like to see failure, but that seems like the only way that we can really see ourselves get better, to see that we can do something that we could not do before and become more confident. So Toastmaster has been a great tool for me to have learned to step outside the comfort zone and become stronger and more confident speaker, and that carry on into my life as well. Because as a leader, I want to be able to inspire other people and be able to have that bigger mission and communicate that to others. Because it is more about motivating people that can eventually help you achieve the goals and mission that you have intended to do. So yes, I still prefer to close my door and do my things and feel good that I have got my numbers balanced and reports handed in. But at the end of the day, especially working with people in a nonprofit, I have to step out there and to show what I believe in, what the agency believes in, and inspire others to do the same thing. So this way, that will be bigger impact in the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is part of the Toastmasters meeting that I really like, the impromptu speeches. And at this particular time, everybody is welcome to participate, even the guests. I have a little bit of a theme going here tonight. Last week was Thanksgiving. Everybody got together around the table and visited them with each other. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the questions to you. And then as you come out here, you have those few seconds to prepare yourself in terms of what you're going to deliver. And keep in mind, or just imagine, you're around a dinner table with friends and family having a good meal and wanting the conversation to go around so that there are some people that are a little shy so they don't feel marginalized. My first question, just sitting around the table there, one of the people that eating, I'll ask them, what are you most grateful for? So who'd like to tackle that?
Okay, thank you everyone for giving me an opportunity. This question is I'm more familiar because two people asked me already what you're most grateful for. It seems to be the current trend or something. So I already thought about it. When I thought about it, I felt that what I'm most grateful for is to my parents because they taught me a way of life which I'm very proud of. To be kind and to be supportive to others, that has become an essential component to my life. So that's what I'm most grateful for. Is there anything should I add?
If you want to.
Yeah, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you all.
Moving on and going around the table. Next question. What do you hope people think of you when, what do you hope people think when they think of you? So what are you hoping that people are thinking of you when they're thinking about you?
Let me try. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Well, what do I hope that when people are thinking about me, I always hope that people always think that I'm doing a great job. Because sometimes I'm really shy and I'm working on my public speaking skills. And most times when I'm out, I'm kind of a little afraid to stay in front of the crowd. So I'm always in the back. So now sometimes I'm given the opportunity to become like a facilitator, but I'm kind of afraid because I believe that, I don't think I can do it. However, other people see the opportunity that I can do it. So what I have to do is motivate myself. And I don't want to, kind of marginalize myself for not being the most positive person I can. So what I'm always hopeful for is to always think that, what people always think that I can do the best job I can, and I want to do the best job myself.
All right. Another question that you have. If you could have any superpower, which one would you choose? Any superpower, which one could you choose?
I'm thinking like everything about Thanksgiving. I saw the parade on the television about the Macy parade, and in the end, they always Santa. So what I dream of if I have superpower, become a Santa in one night and go hopping through the chimney, go down to the window, see every wish and fulfill them. And then just like, but I hope I'm not resting too fat, so I cannot really go down the chimney. So that is my superpower.
All right, another one here. What is one way you helped another person today? Humans, we tend to be social. You got up this morning at whatever time you went through the day. In which way did you help another human today? Or how do you think you changed the world, or how do you think you changed somebody's life today? How did you help somebody else?
I'll try again.
Oh,
So many times, I see people come in where I work and they feel very downhearted. And I've been through the same situation when I never had a job. And sometimes people come in and don't have a job. And I see that pity in them. Not really, I shouldn't use the word pity. I feel so downhurt. But I try to go the extra mile to see what way can I help, what can I do? So I try to calm them down, try to offer like any workshops I can give them, going through the surviving the job loss, going through different workshops, providing resumes, and just, calming the situation down and just, providing extra materials in order to help them. So one thing I'm really grateful for is to always help anybody that needs help, and just to maybe become a counselor, to be able to counsel people, that people who needs that counseling, whatever situation they're going through. It could be like drug overdose or whatever. I want to be that person that could sustain them and help them grow.
I'm going to go ahead and hand it over back to Anya.